Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Mahabharata character series. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from Mahabharata, and we are discussing the character of Bhima, life of Bhima. And last time we discussed how when Bhima and all the Pandavas they're in Agyatwas, and Bhima was always concerned about taking care of his brothers and Draupadi. And we heard how Kichaka, the brother of Sudeshna, the wife of king of Virat, he became attracted to Draupadi, Sairantri, and he wanted to propose her and enjoy her. But Draupadi, she tried her best not to get entangled in all that. But Kichaka was very, very adamant. And ultimately, Draupadi had to suffer all the humiliation again in the assembly hall of king of Virat. She went to Bhima that night and she expressed her sorrow, and she told Bhima that you have to do something. How can you see your dependents being treated in this way? So Bhima made a plan so that Kichaka could be destroyed. At the same time, their incognito exile continues. And then he called Draupadi, he called Kichaka in the dancing arena, dancing hall out in the outskirts of the city. And there Bhima very, very powerfully attacked Kichaka and reduced him to a shapeless mass. When the news went to all the neighboring countries, they came to know that, oh, Kichaka is killed now. So now it is a wonderful opportunity that we can attack King of Virat and we can overcome him. Duryodhan, when he heard about the way Kichaka was killed, he started doubting. Maybe it is the work of Bhima. So all of them attacked along with the king of Trigartha. His name was Susharma. So Susharma, he attacked Virat, king of Virat, and Virat king, because now he was not powerful enough. He was an old man and Kichaka was killed. So he was a shrewd person. And he told Kanka, Vallabha, Tantripal, and Granthik, the four Pandavas, he told them that you also come with me and help me in the fight, because they had very strong build. So Susharma, when he was fighting with Virat king, he was young person and he overpowered king of Virat and he was about to arrest him. That time, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he saw this situation and he told Bhima that you go and you help Virat king. So Bhima, he was not a known warrior. So Susharma, he had no estimation of the strength of this personality. And when he started fighting with Bhima, he understood that this person is very, very powerful. And because he was not a known person, he had not estimated the strength. And he became completely bewildered. And that's what we discussed also last time, that when we are fighting against some enemy, first of all, we should gauge his strength so that we can prepare ourselves. In this material world, as we are trying to embark on the path of spiritual life, We are actually waging a war against material energy, which is called Maya, which is represented by Durga Devi. Durga Devi, her only uh, job, her only uh, purpose to put all the problems and testing situations in our lives is she wants to test, are we really serious to serve Krishna, or do we want to disturb Krishna? So therefore Bhagavad Gita also says, Krishna, Arjuna is asking Krishna, what is that powerful thing because of which a person, even though he does not, if he does not want to do something wrong, he is forced to do that. अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयं पापं चरति पुरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलाद् इव नियोजितः. Why does a person engage in something sinful as if forcibly, balad eva? So this is a very, very important concept, very, very important subject of Bhagavad Gita. Anichan, ichha na hote hue bhi. That's what Arjuna is telling. Even if the person does not want to do it, is it actually anichan? No, actually it is not anichan. When the desires come, we accept those desires and we engage in those desires. And actually the overall feeling is anichan. Overall, the person does not want to do it, but because he has done it in the past many times, he is forced to do something wrong. For example, alcohol addict, he does not want to drink alcohol. If he wants to come out of this, he does not want to drink. But as soon as he comes in front of some, for example, a liquor bar or some new brand, he'll be forced by his desires. In the normal state of mind, actually, one does not want to do anything sinful. But because we have trained our mind, we have trained our senses, therefore we are by default getting attracted to all the sinful desires, sinful things. So therefore this is the most relevant, this section of Bhagavad Gita, which comes in third chapter, the last section of Bhagavad Gita from 3.36 onwards. It is a very, very relevant section for those who are aspiring to be on the path of spiritual life. Because Krishna, he tells many, many important lessons about who is our enemy, where to find that enemy, and how to handle and tackle that enemy. So when when Arjuna is asking this question, Atha kena prayuktoyam, why a person engages in sinful activity, Krishna gives the answer. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhavah, mahashano mahapapma vidyena miha vairinam. So Krishna is telling, O Arjun, there is one most powerful, voracious, sinful enemy of a living entity. What is that? Kama esha, krodha esha. Lust, which is born of anger. Rajogun, and both they are coming out of mode of passion. These are the most powerful enemies of a person who is trying to be on the path of spiritual life. And actually what happens, when one engages in sense gratification, there may be some feeling of happiness. Any of the senses, when they come in touch with any of the sense objects, there is a feeling of happiness. But actually that feeling of happiness is the greatest enemy. It is the ultimate enemy of a person who is trying to be on the spiritual path. So as we have discussed earlier also, sense gratification is not bad. As Srila Prabhupada, he would tell always, sense gratification is like a salt. salt in the food. If it is too less, you can't taste food properly. If it is too much, it becomes bitter. So there is no problem in sense gratification, but we have to do it in a balanced way. Don't indulge too much or too less. So this desire to enjoy more than expected is the ultimate enemy of a living entity, because it traps a person. And we don't even realize when we are getting trapped. So as it is said in the scriptures, there are various animals who get trapped and they are killed because they get attracted to a particular sense object. Fish gets attracted to the taste of the bait. Moth gets attracted to the fire. Eyes attracted, to that. And elephant get attracted to the she elephant. And this bumblebee gets attracted to the fragrance of the lotus flower, and ultimately sits on the flower and dies there whole night, sitting there because the lotus flower closes. Every sense organ has the power to trap us. So there are two things, wish and vishay. Which is more dangerous, wish or vishay? Poison or sense objects? So it is said that wish destroys only after consumption, but vishaya can destroy just by contemplation. That is the power of sense object. If we contemplate on sense objects, we'll be destroyed. So then Krishna says, where are these enemies present? Indriyani mano buddhi asyadhisthanamuchyate. Indriya, mano and buddhi. The desire to enjoy is there in the mind, in the senses, and in the intelligence. So it is the duty of a spiritualist, a devotee. His only service and duty is to purify his mind, purify his senses, purify his intelligence. Mind is purified by chanting of the holy names. Senses are purified by taking prasad. All the other senses, tongue is purified by taking prasad. Eyes are purified by taking darshan of the Lord. Ears are purified by hearing about the Lord. Intelligence is purified by regularly reading scriptures. So Shusharma, he had no idea who is this Bhima, who is this person. So Bhima completely destroyed all the attacks of Shusharma and overpowered him, and he was about to kill Shusharma. So then Virat king, he came in between and he stopped Bhima, and Bhima, he told Shusharma, if you want to live, you have to surrender to the king. And Shusharma had no option. So he had to surrender. He said, if you don't surrender, you'll have to die. So in this way, Bhima, he protected king of Virat. And what happened to Kaurava warriors when they attacked from the other side, that we'll be discussing when we'll discuss about Arjuna. That was also a phenomenal war, amazing war. So Bhima, we have seen from so many incidents, he was a quintessential Kshatriya, very, very powerful Kshatriya. And it is very interesting, although he was a very, very powerful Kshatriya, he was just not interested in, blood warfare, just trying to kill people. No, he was a very, very sensitive person. We know that when Pandavas, they came out of the Agyatavas, and now the war was evident. Pandavas, they tried their best to do peace negotiations because they knew that this war is not good for people. So many thousands and lakhs of people will be destroyed and killed. So when all the peace negotiations failed, Krishna was going. So very, very interestingly, Bhima, he told Krishna, oh Krishna, please try your best to make peace. This is very, very significant. You know. With power comes responsibility, especially for a Kshatriya. With power, it is a responsibility of protecting others. So Krishna, he was surprised to hear this because throughout his life, he was always ready to defeat Kaurava, especially Duryodhan. So he started teasing Bhima. Bhima, it seems that we have heard that when the actual moment of war comes, even great Kshatriyas they succumb to fear, and now I can see that. Otherwise, why you will say all these things? It seems you have become fearful of the war. So Bhima, he became very angry. He got up and said, "No, no, Krishna, it is not like that. Still, I am eager to fight and kill Duryodhan, but I don't want unnecessary destruction. I don't want unnecessary violence. It is my duty that if the matter can be resolved without violence, then we should try the best." So therefore, it is very, very important that Bhima, he was not a brainless fighter. He was a very, very sensitive person. That is an amazing combination of a devotee. So Bhima, personally, he wanted to kill and he did not want to have any peace negotiations. But he was ready to be malleable to the will of Krishna. He was telling, "No, Krishna, if you want peace, I'm okay to, uh, keep aside all my vows and just make all the peace negotiations. I'm okay with that." That is a devotee. He is ready to bend according to the will of the Lord. And we have seen the example of Bhishma also. Bhishma, he was fighting on the side of Kauravas. Although he was such a great devotee, he's a Mahajan. But he surrendered to the plan of Krishna. Krishna wanted to show the world that even if you are the greatest of the fighters, if you are on the side of Adharma, you cannot win. And Bhishma, he agreed to be on that side. So for a devotee, Lord's desire is always higher. And that is what the devotees are ready to do. They are ready to do anything which the Lord wants. How to understand the will of the Lord for us? We cannot talk to Krishna like Pandavas. Krishna is not personally present. How to understand the will of the Lord in our life? General understanding is given. What is the will of the Lord? The will of the Lord is given in the scriptures. Will of the Lord is given in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and to tell us this will of the Lord, Krishna is himself sending his devotees so that they can understand and tell us. So therefore, to understand the will of the Lord, we have to approach devotees of the Lord. And simple way to understand this is surrendering to the instructions of the devotees. That is the will of the Lord. That is spiritual life all about. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he propounded the highest of the philosophy. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Dasa 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 Anudasa. To become the servant of the servant of the servant of the devotees. It is not an easy thing. In today's world, everybody wants to be the master of the masters of all the masters. And when we come to spiritual life, it is completely opposite. So to surrender to the will of the Lord means to surrender to the will of the devotees. And that's what needed. That is needed to develop a relationship with Krishna. And this principle remains the same anywhere. If you want to develop relationship and maintain relationship with any person of this world, we have to learn to work according to the will of that person. We have to learn to be selfless and tolerant in any relationship. The relationships go bad because people, they don't want to tolerate others' faults, others' mistakes, and they want the best for themselves. Selfishness. That is the root cause of destruction of the relationships. So, if we want to make our relationship strong, we have to learn to give prominence to the desires and happiness of that person. That is the secret of developing good relationships. So, if we want to develop relationship with Krishna, we have to learn to accept the will of Krishna, accept the will of the devotees, work according to the desires of the devotees. Although it is not so easy because everybody thinks, no, I know the best. Everybody thinks the way I am thinking is the best way to do a particular thing. That is how we are so very attached to our uh, thoughts, our way. Oh, I cannot do anything wrong. That is the general mentality of everyone. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to say. And I was thinking the right way. But Krishna consciousness, spiritual life means I may be right or wrong, but I will do whatever you say. That is the beginning of spiritual life, to surrender to the will of the devotees. So Bhima was ready to do that. Although he suffered whole life, so many problems, so many insults, and so many things came from the side of Pandavas, but still he was ready to keep aside all those things and surrender. If Krishna wanted peace, okay, no problem. But Duryodhan, he was very, very insensitive person. He rejected all the peace of proposals, and then war was evident. And when the war was about to start, so all the armies, they were arranged. Drishtadyumna, he was the commander of Pandavas for 18 days, and he was killed only on the 18th night, in a wrong way by Ashwathama. He was there throughout. And Bhishma Pitama, he was the commander for the Kaurava army. He was uh, there for 10 days. We'll hear about that in some time. Bhima, he was a very, very powerful warrior. And we have heard that when he went to Nagalok, because he was given poison, he was given such nectar there that he became extremely powerful. He had the power of 10,000 elephants. And physically also, he was like a devata. Very, very powerful body, golden complexion, and lotus like eyes, broad shoulders like lion, narrow waist, and conch like neck. Very beautiful. He was handsome like a devata. So it was a sight to see Bhima. And on top of that, he had a very powerful chariot made up of silver. And this chariot was bedecked with various diamonds and lapis lazuli. And when he would enter the war field, it would strike terror in the hearts of everybody. And generally, he was also expert in fighting with bow and arrows. So in the beginning, he would start shooting arrows using his bow. But when he would really get into the fight, he would keep aside his bow and arrow. He would jump off his chariot and he would run in midst of the enemy armies, and with his club he would start, destroying, smashing all the warriors, and it would be a chaos. He would be in the middle of the army, destroying everybody, and none of the enemies could run. That was the power of Bhima. He would create actually havoc in the armies. And sometimes he would be so fierce to look at. his whole body would be covered with blood. He would be completely red. And only thing which would be visible were his eyes. And because he would be laughing so very loudly, his teeth would be visible, white eyes and white teeth. That's the only thing. Apart from that, everything was red. And that sight would create terror. So generally, this combination is a very, very uh, unheard of combination of a soft heart and a very, very powerful fighter. But that is a devotee. So Srila Prabhupada, he would say that for a devotee, his motto should be do the needful. We are not extremists. Do the needful. Whatever is needed, do that. If needed, Bhima was ready to show his power, his valor, his anger, if it was needed to serve better. And if not, he would be showing all his love, his soft heart. So devotee is not a person who is very timid and soft so that anybody can, trample on him. That is what people think. Oh, this person is a spiritualist. Oh, you can do anything with him. He will not do anything. He will not say anything. No, that is not a devotee. That is not a spiritualist. As devotees, we should be very, very firm in our convictions, especially in today's age, today's corporate scenario where people are ready to pounce on others and get over them. If we are not strong enough, if we are not firm enough, we'll be destroyed. So in the workplace, if we are demanding our rights, if some of the colleagues, he is just trying to go above us, then we have to use our rights. We have to tell strongly, you cannot do this, and we have to exert our power. That is not arrogance. Humility does not mean you allow others to trample on you. That is a difference. We have to understand what is humility. Srila Prabhupada, he was very, very firm and strong and powerful when he would be preaching. As Srila Prabhupada, he would tell, a devotee is like lion at the chase and lamb at home. That is a devotee. So we have to be very strong and firm so that we can serve Krishna better. So day after day, Bhima, he started destroying all the Kaurava brothers because he had taken a vow. He had taken a vow to kill all the 100 Kauravas. And every day he would be killing few of the Kaurava brothers. Every day, 3-4, they were getting killed. On the 4th day of the war, Bhima was extremely powerful. And that day, a fierce fight started between Bhima and Duryodhan. And Duryodhan, he understood that he cannot fight with Bhima. So he ordered his elephantry division to come and attack Bhima. So Bhima, he was not an ordinary person. He got off the chariot, took his mace, and he started killing all the elephants. And the entire elephant division was destroyed. Duryodhan, he was outraged. He was completely mad when he saw all this. And Bhima, he was laughing so very loudly, and anybody who was coming in front, he was ripping them apart. So Duryodhan, he became very mad and he attacked Bhima, but Bhima, he was not to be stopped. He hit him so fiercely that Duryodhan fell unconscious. Somehow his charioteer, Duryodhan's charioteer, took him away from that place and he survived. Duryodhan was completely devastated. That evening he went to Bhishma and he said, "Oh grandsire, we have so many powerful warriors. We have warriors like you, Drona, Kripa. Apart from all of you powerful warriors, we have almost double the army. They have 7, we have 11 Akshahini divisions. How come we are getting defeated? What power is there on the side of Kauravas that we are getting defeated again and again? Bhishma, that day he got a chance to speak about the glories of Krishna. That is a devotee. As soon as a little chance comes, a devotee never leaves that chance. As a practicing spiritualist, we should be having a practice of grabbing on to the opportunities to speak about Krishna. Just like people outside world, materialists, they want to speak about sense gratification at the least expected moment. A little trigger and they will be speaking about wine and women. Similarly, a devotee should be attracted and he should be a great opportunist. Be ready to grab any opportunity to speak about Krishna. That is the difference between a spiritualist and a devotee, a spiritualist and a materialist. Both are opportunists, but in a different way. Bhagavatam describes Satamayam sarabhritam nisargo yadarthavani shrutichetasamapi pratikshanam navyavadachyutasya striya vitanam iva sadhu varta. The devotees of the Lord, they are the seekers of essence. Sar Bhritam. They have dedicated their Artha, Vani, Shruti, and Chetasa. Their wealth, their words, their consciousness, their entire life is for Krishna. They are interested in speaking about Krishna, just like materialists are interested in speaking about topics of women. Pratikshanam navyavadachyutasya yat striya vitanam iva sadhu varta. For a devotee, topics of Krishna, they are ever fresh. As Srila Prabhupada, he would tell many times, oh, how much can you chant any ordinary name of a materialist person? Mr. John, as Prabhupada would tell. How long can you chant that? You'll get tired, you'll get bored. But this Hare Krishna mantra, you can go on chanting whole day, you'll not get tired. Haridas Thakur was chanting 3 lakh names every day. So Bhishma, he started extolling the glories of Krishna. And hearing Bhishma association is contagious. Even a person like Duryodhan, he started thinking maybe Krishna is God. There was some iota of transformation hearing the glories of Krishna, even in a person like Duryodhan. But it didn't give much importance to that. And that's how the demoniac people are. They may hear about Krishna, they may see the power of Krishna, they may see the power of God, but that will not register. And therefore, when the demons they see the God's power in their own terms, then they start thinking maybe God exists. But still, the obstinate people, they will never accept. They will never transform. As Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, asatyam apratishtham te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. Those who are demoniac people, they think there is no God. This entire world is only for one purpose, kama hetukam, just enjoy life. Beg, borrow or steal, but enjoy. Kimanyat kama hetukam. These are demoniac people. And we'll see these type of people will meet. We'll have to, come in close contact with such people sometimes. How to deal with them? There are 3 types of people we will meet. Those who are virtuous, those who are victims, and those who are vicious. Those who are virtuous people, the devotees of the Lord, you have to associate with them, learn from them, take guidance from them. We'll see some people who are victims, innocent people who are getting distracted and deviated by the modern propaganda. Help them. And those who are vicious, just stay away from them, avoid them. So Bhima, he actually shook the very core of Duryodhan by his powerful fighting. And Duryodhan, he was getting completely devastated. So somehow Bhishma consoled him that day, okay, no problem, we'll do the needful, we'll fight. But Bhima, every day, day by day, he was becoming overwhelmingly powerful. On the eighth day again, Bhima, he was at his best. He showed his prowess, and massive confrontation again happened between Duryodhan and Bhima. And that day, on the fourth day, Bhima killed four of his brothers. On the eighth day, he killed 17 brothers of Duryodhan. And on top of that, Arjuna was also there. Arjuna was also massacring all the armies. So it was really devastating, and Duryodhan was not able to understand how is this happening. So somehow that day ended, and Duryodhan went to Bhishma again, and that day he didn't want to listen about Krishna. That is how demoniac people are. They neglect the supremacy of the Lord. Even if things are obvious, they will not see Lord's hand. They'll start thinking, maybe there's something else. Maybe I didn't do my best. Maybe I should try better next time. Maybe I made this mistake. But they will never understand the way the the thing which they are doing is wrong. That's how demoniac are. So when we have seen in Bhagavad Gita also, in the first chapter, when Duryodhan is counting the warriors on the side of Kaurava army and the Pandava army, he takes the name of all the warriors on the side of Pandavas. He says Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi. There are many warriors equal to Bhima and Arjun. But he does not take the name of Krishna, who was the main person orchestrating the entire Kurukshetra war. Why he didn't take the name of Krishna? Because he was thinking, oh, this person is not fighting. What is the use of that? Oh, what he will do because he'll not be fighting. So he didn't take even the name of Krishna. That is how the demoniac people are. That is the calculating mentality of demoniac people. He didn't mention Krishna because he was thinking, oh, Krishna is not fighting. But Krishna may not be fighting personally, but he is orchestrating each and every event which happened in that war. That's how Krishna is. He likes to give credit to his devotees, and that's why personally he didn't do anything. So that day, Duryodhan, he went to Bhishma and he started accusing Bhishma that you are not fighting properly. You should have told me that if you don't want to fight properly, I would have made Karna the commander-in-chief. We are getting destroyed under your commandership. Why are you behaving like this? And he was accusing Bhishma like anything. You are partial to Pandavas. You are not giving your best. For Bhishma, for any Kshatriya, this is intolerable. These words, they were really piercing the heart of Bhishma because he had given his life to serve Kauravas. He took out 5 arrows. He chanted, he sat in meditation, he chanted all the mantras and invoked such power in those arrows. And he said, tomorrow I'm going to kill all the Pandavas with these 5 arrows. Duryodhan said, wait, give me those arrows. And I'll keep those arrows. And then we know the story that how Krishna, he sent Arjuna, and ultimately Duryodhan had to give 5 arrows to Arjuna. So on the 4th day, Bhima was instrumental in Bhishma telling the verbal glories of Krishna. And the 8th day also, because of Bhima, Krishna, he displayed his glory on the 9th day. So both happened because of Bhishma, because of Bhima. So Krishna, he showed his glory that he is ready to do anything to protect his devotees. So therefore, Bhima, he was, whatever the actions Bhima and all the Pandavas they were doing, it was for one purpose, to glorify Krishna. We have heard when we were discussing about Yudhishthir Maharaj that when he wanted to perform Rajasuya, why? He wanted to glorify Krishna. That was the only purpose. And in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnay written by Madhvacharya, actually Madhvacharya, he tells that Bhima is the hero of Mahabharata, not Arjuna. Mahabharata, actually Madhvacharya is also incarnation of Vayu. Bhima is also son of Vayu. So naturally Madhvacharya, he was attracted to Bhima. So he glorifies Bhima as the main person of Mahabharata war. He tells actually, the vow of killing Karna was also taken by Bhima, because in the gambling match, Bhima, he took a vow. I will kill Duryodhan, I will kill Dushashan, and Arjuna will kill Karna. So Madhvacharya says actually Bhima took a vow, and that's why Arjuna killed Karna. So, and then he goes on to describe that, Bhima, he was such a great devotee of the Lord. Whenever Pandavas would conquer a particular kingdom, it was Bhima would make sure that the entire kingdom is based on the principles of dharma and based on the principles of devotion. That was the job of Bhima. So he was the foremost of the persons who would be orchestrating entire administration in such a way that the citizens become Krishna conscious. That was Bhima. He was not an ordinary personality just interested in eating. No, very powerful warrior, at the same time very, very great devotee of Krishna. So when we see such type of description, somewhere Bhima is glorified, somewhere Arjuna is glorified, we should not get confused. Because we are used to seeing the world from our point of view. But we know that in material world there can be only one best. But in spiritual world there can be many bests. So one particular explanation is given to glorify one person, another explanation is given to glorify other person. So there should be no confusion, because in spiritual world there is no envy. Oh, if I am best, how can anybody else be the best? No, everybody can be best. Just like every year we go to yatra with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and one yatra in Jagannath Puri, Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling that today we have come to the most auspicious place of Jagannath Puri. And then he gave a nice talk. After the whole lecture, one devotee raised his hand and said, Maharaj, last year we were in Vrindavan. That time also you said the same thing. We have come to the most holy place of Vrindavan. So I am not able to understand this. So Maharaj said, actually there can be many most holy places in Vrindavan, in spiritual world. Wherever we go, that place is the most holy place. There is no competition. Spiritual world is a place where there is no envy. There may be envy in the spiritual world, but the competition is to serve Krishna, not to put ourselves in front. Spiritual envy impels one to serve Krishna better. Material envy, impels one to show oneself better. That is the difference. So that's how Bhima was. So then the fight went on, war was continuing. On the 10th day, Bhishma, he fell down. and everybody came and offered their respects to Bhishma, and then Karna was made the commander in chief. And when Karna was made the commander, Duryodhan called him and he said that you should arrest Yudhishthir Maharaj, and we'll again call him for a gambling match. So we know the rivalry between Karna and Arjuna, but actually there was a rivalry between Bhima and Karna also. We have heard that when Yudhishthir Maharaj sent all his brothers to the four directions to get all the wealth for Rajasuya, Bhima, he went to the west, he went to the eastern side, and there was a Angdesh, and actually Bhima defeated Karna there. So Karna was already having ill feelings toward Bhima. So Bhima actually fought with Karna on various occasions. We'll see that on the 11th day, when Karna, he was about to attack, he was attacking Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he wanted to arrest Yudhishthir. So that day, somehow Arjuna came to know, and he came into between, and he somehow protected Yudhishthir Maharaj. So when Arjuna, he went to protect Yudhishthir, Bhima was the central warrior there. And he took the responsibility of protecting and defending all the armies. So in this way, Bhima, he was protecting, and he on many occasions he fought with Karna. And when Karna, he saw that, okay, I cannot arrest Yudhishthir Maharaj if Arjuna is there. So he told Duryodhan that day evening, I cannot arrest Yudhishthir if Arjuna is there. So next day, Shusharma, he diverted Arjun. And now Bhima was the person who was in charge of defending Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Karna was trying his best to arrest Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Bhima, he had to face Karna. And as all these things were happening, there was another powerful warrior named Bhagadatta who came from the Kaurava side, and he had a very, very powerful elephant named Supratik. That this Supratik, he was not an ordinary elephant. It was like a mountain, very, very huge elephant. And as he would charge, he would crush many of the soldiers under his feet. So Bhima, now he was fighting with Karna, but then Bhagadatta came in, and Bhagadatta on his elephant, he started attacking Bhima. All the elephant division of Pandavas came, but none of the elephants could do anything to this Supratika. He was very, very powerful. He was like a heavenly elephant, very powerful elephant. And Supratika, he was killing all the elephants, just like ordinary elephant. With one hit, all the elephant division of the Pandavas, they were getting destroyed. And on top of that, Bhagadatta, he was also very, very powerful warrior. Nobody was able to do anything to this Bhagadatta. Now the whole responsibility was on Bhima. And Bhima, he prepared himself to fight with this warrior. Very fierce fight started, and he started shooting arrows one after another. And Bhima, he was somehow trying to handle this warrior. Bhagadatta was also very, very powerful warrior, and he was coming close to the chariot of Bhima on his elephant. And Bhagadatta, he came so near that his elephant was about to crush the chariot of Bhima. Bhima somehow jumped out of the chariot and escaped. Now he was on the ground, but he didn't run away. That is the Kshatriya spirit. He was alone, fighting without any mace, without any bow and arrow, but he didn't run away. That is the quality of a Kshatriya. Yuddhe chapya palayanam. Yuddhe chapya palayanam means whatever may happen, the Kshatriya will not run away from the battle. In our fight with our senses, in our fight with material energy, many times we are faced with such powerful opponents like Bhagadatta. When the temptations they come up so very strongly, these temptations, just put by all the material energy in the form of all the advertisements and the social media and whatever happening in the world, they are so very tempting. And we may feel helpless. All our support and all our shields, they may get destroyed. But a spiritualist never leaves the war. We may get wounded, but we should understand that if we are on the path of spiritual life, for sure Krishna is there. As it is described, Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. If Krishna is there on the side of Pandavas, how can they get defeated? That's how Bhagavad Gita ends. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvani Tirmatirmama. Wherever Krishna is there, the most powerful, the master of all the mystics, and wherever Arjuna is there, the most powerful archer, there has to be victory. So in our fight with the material nature, in our fight with our temptations, we may lose some battles, but we should have that faith that we will not lose the war. So this is how the Kshatriya is. Actually, being on the spiritual path is like going upstream. Resisting the temptations is not so easy. And on top of that, when health goes down and when family problems, so many other problems, they come up, it seems that already there are so many problems, I should stop my spiritual practices for some time and then focus on the other things. But we have to understand that when we take shelter of the spiritual practices, when we take shelter of Krishna, that is the thing which will give us strength to handle those problems. Because Pandavas, they were completely dependent on Krishna. They were trying their best. And in this situation, we can see Bhagadatta and his elephant, Supratik, he was very, very powerful. They were unimaginable. But still, Bhima, he continued to fight. And what happened later, we'll discuss next time. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.